Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future.
Grenada hosts sensitization seminar on Carriacou gender-sensitive results-based management system. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for today, Monday, March 25th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Do Carriacou citizens know if regional priorities agreed to by heads are incorporated in our national agenda? And how can we hold the heads, Carriacou Secretariat, and ourselves responsible for implementation? Some of the pertinent questions that were discussed on Monday during a sensitization seminar on the Carriacou gender-sensitive results-based management system. In 2012, Carriacou heads agreed that it was necessary to re-examine the future direction of the regional grouping, and in response, they embarked on a reformation process, which included 2 major outcomes. These are a more focused, effective, and impactful community, guided by a 5-year plan and a transformed Carriacou Secretariat. At the 35th conference in July 2014 in Antigua, the heads approved the Caribbean Community 5-year Strategic Plan 2015 to 2019. Its desired outcomes include strong economic growth, reduction in poverty and unemployment, improved quality of life, and an integrated community with equity for all. Dr. Suknandan, Carriacou Deputy Secretary General, says we must be able to use results-based management in our national and regional development plans.
So inclusiveness is an important feature in RBM. It involves, as I mentioned, the Carriacou Secretariat, member states, regional institutions, different levels of governments, ministries, etc., parliamentarians, social partners, civil society, and the private sector. In the end, it is our community of which we are a part and which we serve that should benefit. Using RBM will also diminish or minimize the well-known implementation deficit at several levels and within several structures, which includes the ministerial level. We can hold each other accountable for not making progress, but it is necessary that all of us know what RBM is, how to use it and work with it in our national and regional development plans.
The plan is to have their first results-focused performance framework ready by the end of next month. Mr. Craig Beresford, Director for Carriacou Strategic Management Unit, says tracking the process of implementation is key.
We have been linking using virtual means with member states on a quarterly basis and or institutions to discuss implementation progress. So on a quarterly basis, we discuss how we are doing in terms of the progress, where there are log jams, issues, challenges, et al. We try to see how best we can treat with them at that level and at that point so that at the end of the year, we're not looking back to say, why didn't we achieve what we should have achieved? But we try to treat with those issues as we go along. And the meetings are all virtual, so there's not a cost. So we meet virtually, we have these discussions, and then we pass the information to member states in terms of some of the challenges that we're having at the regional level.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell has congratulated Mr. Ricky Skerritt on winning the presidency of Cricket West Indies and Dr. Keisho Shallow on winning the vice presidency. He says this result will bring great joy and happiness to cricket lovers throughout the world, not just in the West Indies. Dr. Mitchell issued a statement saying the election of Mr. Skerritt's team will lift the spirits of the Caribbean people and give them new hope and a greater expectation for the revival and rebirth of West Indies cricket. Dr. Mitchell also congratulated the Skerritt team for running a clean and effective campaign in which they consistently highlighted their agenda for change, their vision for the future of West Indies cricket, and their 10-point plan for making that vision a reality. He added, and I quote, "I must especially commend Mr. Skerritt for requesting that stakeholders share responsibility for his strategy and become co-owners of his agenda for change. I believe that CARICOM governments will honor these requests and do all in their power to promote harmonious and cooperative relationships between the board and all stakeholders for the common good of the game and the region." Unquote. A warm Grenadian welcome was extended to their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall over the weekend, a welcome they won't soon forget. Their visit started with an official welcome from Governor-General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade, Foreign Affairs Minister Honourable Peter David, ambassadors, members of the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Cadet Corps. This was followed by a tree planting exercise at Old Government House. During their brief stay in Pure Grenada, their Royal Highnesses visited the House of the Chocolate on Young Street and a farmer's market on the Carriacou, where spices, crafts, agriculture, nutmeg, chocolate, floral arrangements and delicacies were all on display. The Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall were entertained by local dancers and still band music as they got a taste of everything Grenada has to offer. Visitors and locals alike gathered at the Carriacou to greet their Royal Highnesses as they made their way to the various booths. The final opportunity for public engagement was a showcase in Grand Dance, where the Royal Highnesses viewed various marine conservation projects as well as a variety of local arts and crafts. The Prince of Wales also participated in a round table on sustainability and the blue economy. The visit to Grenada is the fourth stop on a 7-country tour of the Caribbean. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation, get to your destination safe.
Welcome back. Grenada is the first country to gain hands-on training in business management from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Small business owners were targeted for the micro-business simulation exercise. The workshop focused on record-keeping, accounting, business management, and customer service. Facilitator of the workshop, Shamalan Kirby, attached to the ECCB's Cooperative Relations Department, says the initiative was done to promote efficiency of small businesses in the Caribbean.
The workshop was part of the ECCB's mandate to promote the development of our countries. And we know the importance small businesses play in our country's economies. This is to help small business run more efficient businesses. We have also found that small businesses, people have great ideas, they start, but the businesses fail. Fail because of poor planning, poor or no record keeping, and not knowing the proper principles of business management. This workshop covered all of this. We had a guest facilitator and accountant come in to talk about the basics of a financial statement. And I think for most of the participants, that's what they walked away with. The importance of record keeping and actually getting an appreciation of financial statements and the importance of preparing financial statements for their businesses.
The ECCB will continue to train in other member territories this week. One participant, Ms. Risa Pear, expressed her gratitude for the exposure to the workshop and the hands-on experience.
With this workshop, I think it was a more practical workshop. I've been to other workshops and it's more of a lecture. So it's someone speaking and you just may take notes. But this one, we had more hands-on, more practical. We use the board and to make it more realistic, and we can also use our business, like whatever was the example we had here today, we could have used it as an example in our business. One of the things that I've definitely learned is the importance of record keeping for your business, so that at the end of whatever financial year you are able to go back so that you can complete your records and your booking. So that is one of the most important things that I learned. Also understanding your customers and their needs, and sometimes you have to personalize for certain customers, so that's also something that I would have learned.
Finally, promoting the importance of human relationships, the theme under which the Grenada Association of Social Workers engaged stakeholders in a seminar in observance of World Social Work Day on Friday. World Social Work Day is used to celebrate and recognize social workers as champions for social justice and human rights. The seminar focused on building awareness on the importance of building relationships and effective communication with each other.
We want to raise awareness about the importance of human relationships, and without the collaborating and the commitment and the willingness of helping professionals, we cannot meet the needs of our client. We cannot address the social issues in society without developing great, healthy relationships. So what we want to bring across is awareness, but we want to encourage helping professionals to collaborate so that needs can be met.
President of the Grenada Association of Social Worker, Kalisha Hyacinth Purcell Charles. She said more needs to be done to improve collaboration and strained relationships to improve delivery output.
It's definitely lacking within Grenada. I know it's lacking in other nations, but I can speak for here. I believe that we're not collaborating sufficiently. I believe that we have very strained relationships, and that sort of relationship is impacting service delivery. So it's a big issue, and I think this global theme of promoting the importance of human relationship comes in a perfect time where there's a lot of issues going on amongst I should say a lot of issues that's happening within our society, where we need to have more commitment and more relationship building in order to satisfy the needs of our society.
The session was attended by Ministry of Social Development, Program for Adolescent Mothers, students of St. George's University and Florida State University, among others. That story just ended the national report for today, Monday, March 25th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada hosts sensitization seminar on Carriacou gender-sensitive results-based management system. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Government pension. What are the facts? Are all public workers entitled to pension? Are public workers owed gratuity? Here are the facts. Fact 1. The Pension Disqualification Act of 1983 was validated on April 21, 1985 by the democratically elected government, led by former Prime Minister Herbert A. Blaise. This means that public workers employed after February 22, 1985 are not legally entitled to a pension from the government of Grenada. Fact 2. The judgment in the Hermelin Armstrong case does not create legal precedents for the reinstatement of pension to public workers employed after February 22, 1985. The judgment created a legal precedence only for those workers who joined the public service in a pensionable post between April 4, 1983 and February 22, 1985. There were 56 such workers. The government restored pension to those 56 workers in 2018 at a cost of $7.7 million. Fact 3. All officers employed in a pensionable post who joined the service after February 22, 1985 are not legally entitled to a pension from government. They are only entitled to a pension from NIS once they meet the necessary requirements as per the NIS Act. Fact 4. The Cabinet's decision in 2016 to reform pension is rooted in moral and social justice principles, and it is not a legal obligation. Therefore, any agreement on pension is a win for public workers. Fact 5. The MOU signed between government, the unions, and staff associations in February and March 2018 stated that the pension regime which will be implemented must be affordable and sustainable. Fact 6. The proposed pension regime for public workers employed between February 22, 1985 and December 31, 2018, as stated in the MOU, is a non-contributory pension plan. Therefore, no deductions will be taken from workers' salaries to finance their pension from government. Pensioners also benefit from any future negotiated salary increases. Fact 7. It was agreed by all parties that a worker's annual pension would be a minimum of 70% of their final salary to be paid jointly by the NIS and the government of Grenada. Fact 8. Government is not obligated to offer an advanced pension payment, commonly called a gratuity. Government has proposed to make an advanced pension payment of 2% of full pension, an amount it can practically and reasonably afford given its current and projected revenue stream. It should be noted that an advanced pension payment is a non-interest-bearing loan that the government grants to the pensioner, which must then be repaid in equal monthly installments in the form of a reduced monthly pension over 12.5 years. Fact 9. Under the proposed 2% advanced pension payment or gratuity, retirees will be entitled to a higher monthly pension than if a larger advanced payment was given. Fact 10. If the government accommodates any higher rate of gratuity, the implications would be severe for the country, as this will translate to higher taxes such as VAT, income tax and property tax, higher import duties, The possibility that hundreds of millions of dollars in grants would be lost. Lower expenditure in critical areas such as healthcare, agriculture, roadworks and youth development. Retrenchment of workers. These are the facts. Government is committed to an amicable resolution to the pension matter for the good of all Grenadians.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m.
What are the facts? Are all public workers entitled to
Saturday,
pension?
April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
It is said that education is the key to success. The Grenada Development Bank believes this to be the truth. Hence the reason we have made it our prerogative to ensure that your key is in safe hands with us. Here is how you can unlock your success with an education loan from the GDB. We offer you 3 loan options. We've got our regular student loan, our work-study student loan, and our special student loan. Our regular student loan is for persons who wish to pursue full-time tertiary level education. If you are a permanent employee who wish to study while continuing your employment, then our work-study loan is for you. Our special student loan is in collaboration with the government of Grenada, geared towards vulnerable persons who would like to pursue higher level education. Remember, you must have proof of admission from a recognized institution here at home or abroad. All our loans are 100% financing with interest rates as low as 5%. Get your funding from GDB today for your tertiary level education, your technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated. Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future.
morning, everyone. Press Secretary Philomena Robertson welcoming you to another edition of our post-cabinet press briefings. This morning, we have with us the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Labour, the Honourable Peter David. Thank you to all of you who have joined us, whether via television, radio, social media, whatever platform you are using to join us this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Minister David has a number of announcements that he will make this morning, as well as updates on developments within his ministry. Minister David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pertek. It's a pleasure for me to be here this morning as Minister for Foreign Affairs and Labour in this post-cabinet briefing. I will, before going into some substantive issues, just give a couple of announcements from the cabinet meeting yesterday. But before I do that, I'd like to, just reflecting on last week, to thank everyone who participated and in any way made the visit of the Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, the visit to Grenada, a successful one. I think they both indicated, reported back that they found the trip very successful, and I think from all of the indications from participants, guests, etc., it went very well. So I want to, on behalf of the government and people, thank everyone who participated, contributed, did anything in any way to make it a success. And I'm sure I'm speaking to on behalf of our Governor General, who played an integral part in having this visit turn out to be the success that it was. With respect to matters coming from the Cabinet, one, the plans with respect to the National Secondary School Games. As you're well aware, the zonal activities, zonal games came off quite successfully over the last several weeks, and as a result of that, the students had a wonderful time, the teachers who participated, and the government wants to thank, and the Ministry of Education wants to thank everyone who in one way or another participated. The National Games, Secondary School Games, will take place on April the 5th, and we all look forward to it. And we know from the zonal games that the students who participated are going to be, they are also looking forward with excitement to the National Secondary School Games. I think it's the end of next week, April the 5th. Secondly, the interesting and exciting news on the tourism front and the development front, I should say, the range developments. I think everybody in Grenada would have been are now aware that the range developments, a development company out of Dubai, they had signed to build a hotel in Grenada in La Sagesse, about 120-30 room hotel in La Sagesse to start with, and they're also planning a second hotel after the first one is completed. In fact, they're saying that they will start the second one even before the first one is completed. They have now signed up. On Saturday, they signed with Six Senses, a very high-end brand out of Asia, to manage the hotel. Range would be the developers, and the hotel brand that will operate is the Six Sense brand. And they've now signed with Six Sense, so we are now on the way to getting our first major hotel in St. David, and hopefully followed by a second hotel, hopefully a high-end brand also in the St. David area. And that is going to provide hundreds of jobs, and I think the Prime Minister himself outlined a couple of weeks ago the importance of that project to St. David. And we're looking forward as we creep out of St. David into St. Andrew, into St. Patrick. These hotels are going to mean a lot for the development of our rural economy. We know that the hotels that have been constructed, Silver Sands, Spice Inn, Flamboyant under construction, now called Kiwana Bay, they are all working with the farming sector. And Range has also indicated, and Six Sense has indicated, that they intend to work with the farming sector so that all of the supplies comes from, or at least as much as we can, will come from the local economy. So I just wanted to make that announcement to indicate that we are now on the way to having the Six Sense Hotel, a major hotel out of Asia, built in Grenada sometime, at least the project will begin sometime in the summer. With respect to my ministries, Ministry of Labour and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with respect to the Ministry of Labour, the Farm Labour Program, we would like to report that 36 workers have left for Canada. Consul General James will no doubt would have received them when they went to Canada, and he's also coming here in April to have further discussions with more farms. The Farm Labour Program is an important program. Several of our young people go to Canada, engage in either apple picking or other farming endeavors. They're able to make some money, but also receive training. In addition to that, 25 persons were selected to travel to Barbados for training with Trinity Recruitment Services for possible placement with Carnival Cruise Lines. Another important development out of the Ministry of Labour, and we want to congratulate those young people and to urge them to do well, because what typically happens as the farms and the cruise lines need more people, they come to Grenada. Once the Grenadian workers are able to prove that they're diligent, that they're able to work efficiently, it means that more workers from Grenada in the next couple of years will be employed. We also want to thank the Grenada Development Bank for helping with a loan scheme for the persons who are going to be working on the cruise lines. As you're aware, when you're going to work on these lines, you have to buy an airline ticket, you have to get insurance. There are a number of things that you have to do to get yourself prepared. The Grenada Development Bank, reflecting its name development, has come on board to assist these young people in getting loans that they can repay while they're outside, to assist them in getting out to the ship. So with respect to farm labor and the work on cruise ships, we have some exciting news there. There's also a potential program for the recruitment of hotel and domestic workers in Canada. The Consul General will be coming to Grenada soon, and again, on the issue of hotel and domestic workers, he will be speaking to us about how do we take advantage of those programs in Canada. So we are working on several fronts in the Ministry of Labour to source employment outside of the country while we seek to protect our workers in Grenada. With respect to foreign affairs, as you're well aware, there have been a number of issues on the international front. Quite prominent among them is the issue of Venezuela. Grenada reiterates, and will this morning reiterate, its position within CARICOM, our support for dialogue and the Montevideo mechanism. The Montevideo mechanism is a mechanism established between Ecuador, Mexico, and now CARICOM. The efforts that we are undertaking is toward dialogue. We believe that the resolution to the problems in Venezuela will come from dialogue. Grenada has maintained that position. Our Prime Minister has said time and time again that dialogue is the way, that the drums of war must not be beating loudly, that we should continue to talk. We believe that this dialogue is the only way that the people of Venezuela will find some kind of resolution to their conflict. In fact, there was a recent video conference between foreign ministers and the opposition in Venezuela. The video conference was held in Barbados, and foreign ministers of Trinidad, foreign minister of Barbados, and the foreign minister of St. Kitts, who is the chair of CARICOM, attended that, along with the foreign minister of Jamaica. We in Grenada believe that CARICOM has appointed a 3-person team comprising Trinidad, comprising Barbados, and the chair of CARICOM St. Kitts. And we believe that those 3 governments, those 3 prime ministers or their designates, are the ones to speak for CARICOM with respect to Venezuela. That is why in the meeting in Barbados with the opposition in Venezuela, they attended, and we expect that they will be the ones doing all of the negotiations on behalf of CARICOM. So I just want this morning to reiterate our position, and I'll be willing to take any questions on the issue of Venezuela. With respect to the meeting of prime ministers in Washington, again, Grenada maintains its position that the three countries, Barbados, St. Kitts, and Trinidad and Tobago, are the ones designated by CARICOM to speak on Venezuela. The United States has the right to invite any prime minister it wishes to a meeting in Washington. They have a right to have any bilateral relationships they wish. But with respect to that meeting, the meeting held at Mar-a-Lago in Florida recently between 4 prime ministers in the region and the President of the United States, we believe that it is unfortunate. But we believe that while they have the right to have the meetings with the President of the U.S. with respect to Venezuela, Grenada maintains the position that the 3 prime ministers of Trinidad, Barbados, and St. Kitts are the ones authorized to have discussions on behalf of CARICOM. So I expect their meeting at Mar-a-Lago in Florida was not, maybe it was not to do, was not reflective of a CARICOM position. It was a bilateral relationship, or multilateral, if you want to call it that, between them as Caribbean states, but not as CARICOM states speaking with the President of the United States. I also recently visited Serbia, the Republic of Serbia. You know, it was a very interesting visit for several reasons. One, we are negotiating some bilateral agreements with Serbia to cover areas of IT, education, and other development-related areas. But what was most exciting for me is that when I left for Serbia, I understood that we have a student or maybe 2 students in Serbia. And we sought to locate these students. They had left Grenada more than 7-8 years ago. On arrival in Serbia, on the night before I departed, I got a call from a student who said that he was in Serbia and needed to meet with me. It was exciting when I met. There were 5 students. Grenada has 5 students in Serbia. And what was exciting about their story is that when they arrived in Serbia, they arrived on a scholarship in 2011. And they had some difficulties with the language. As a result of that, they had some challenges with their scholarships. So they left the scholarship program, all 5 of them, and they stuck together. And they stayed in Serbia. And they worked, and they struggled, and they got full command of the language. So when I met with them, they were speaking perfect Serbian. They were all settled into Serbia, and they're all now back onto the path to get back their scholarships because they persevered. And I think this is a story for students who go outside, because many of our students leave Grenada and they expect that things will be nice. And some of them don't want to take scholarships to China, or they don't want to take up a scholarship to Serbia, or they don't want to go to Russia. I remember, in fact, when we had first scholarships to Cuba, many persons heard stories about Cuba and they didn't want to go. Here we have students who faced a totally unknown world, faced some serious challenges, but they faced the challenges, and all of them are now on the way to becoming engineers, mechanical engineers, civil engineers, and electrical engineers. And I think the story of our students in Serbia, those 5 young men, and I will give you photographs of them before you leave today, is a story for all of our students, and this is the story. That there are many scholarships that we seek in the diaspora. We go to many countries. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs travels all over the world, and one of the main topics we discuss is scholarships for our young people, because we do believe that a postgraduate degree in every household is one of the ways to take our households out of poverty. But many of these scholarships are not taken up because some persons are fearful of going into the unknown. Some people believe that, and they believe all kinds of stories. Boy, where you're going Serbia, it have war in them part of the world, and this and that and the other. We urge our young people to come into the Ministry of Education, find out about the scholarships, and take them up. And I certainly will have the students in Serbia at some point tell their story to Grenadian young people, and I look forward. I think 2 of them are graduating in a couple of months, and the others will graduate in a year or 2, and they will be back to Grenada, or some of them will travel to other places as engineers. So while we did achieve a lot in Serbia with respect to future scholarships, I just wanted to tell you the story of students who are currently in Serbia. With respect to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I am going to be attending a meeting this weekend of the ACS meeting, Association of Caribbean States meeting in Managua, Nicaragua this weekend. On the sidelines of the meeting, I will be again meeting with the representatives from the Serbian government, where we will be signing the official agreements to cover education, youth development, agriculture, and technical, economic and technical cooperation. In the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as you may be aware, we are now responsible for the diaspora unit. It had moved to the Prime Minister's ministry. Now it's back in the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. We have signed an agreement with the International Organization for Migration, and they've given us a grant of $200,000 to develop the project on the diaspora. The ministry is extremely happy at that. We believe that the diaspora unit can do much with respect to integrating our diaspora community into Grenada. I've always said that we must start treating Grenada as any place that Grenadians exist. And I've always said, and I repeat, the further away a Grenadian goes from Grenada is the more patriotic they become. So we need to tap into the patriotism and the skills of Grenadians in the diaspora, and we hope that the transfer of those skills, the human, social, economic, and cultural capital of Grenadians in the diaspora to the development of Grenada. And I want to thank the International Organization of Migration and their project coordinators who will be coming to Grenada to assist us in developing the diaspora unit. Additionally, Grenada is now the chair, and I want to congratulate our ambassador at the United Nations. Grenada is now the chair of what's called the C24 committee, that is the special committee on the situation with regard to implementation of the declaration and the granting of independence to colonial territories. Essentially, a committee that deals with countries that have not yet become independent, what we called the colonial territories. And we are now the chair of that committee. Our ambassador, Keisha Maguire, has now been elected, and I want to congratulate her on that. It reflects the good work that she did. In fact, she chaired a C24 meeting in Grenada last year, and I am pleased to announce that because of the success of that C24 meeting, Committee of 24 meeting in Grenada last year, and the election of Ambassador Maguire to chair that important United Nations committee, that Grenada will again be hosting the C24 meeting in May of this year. So I look forward to that, and I look forward to inviting you to come to the meeting to meet the members of the C24, Committee of 24, the committee called the Committee on Decolonization. Grenada will also assume the chair of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, what we commonly call COFCO, in May. And we will be hosting a conference, the meeting of COFCO, the conference from May 13th to 15th, 2019. So we have some excitement in the future, in May, with respect to our work in the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. So those are some of the important things I want to outline this morning, and to invite you to ask questions on those matters or any other matters that you see as important. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister David. Well, he has already extended the invitation. As per usual, please identify yourself and your media house before asking your question.
Sherry and Noel, GIS. I want to ask a question as it pertains to the 5 prime ministers that went to the meeting in the United States. Over social media, there has been deep dialogue. So my question to you as the foreign minister is, what are the implications for trust in CARICOM heads as it relates to the meeting that they attended?
Well, let me start by saying this, that we in the Caribbean are resilient. CARICOM and Caribbean integration has gone through many difficult periods. We've had highs and we've had lows. While we have, it's not much unlike the European Union, where you always have difficulties, but it somehow survives. CARICOM is not going to be too challenged by this. The leaders, the 4 leaders who met with President Trump, the good news is that they've all signed on to the original CARICOM statement, which said that we believe in dialogue. So I think they have committed to the principle of dialogue in Venezuela, and therefore I think all of CARICOM would expect them to continue pushing for dialogue. So we would hope that in the meeting with President Trump, that they would have advocated the CARICOM position. And that is our hope, that is our expectation, and that is what we expect to be the result of that meeting. Of course, there are persons within CARICOM who would have said at the time, said things to express some criticism of it. And that is also legitimate, that there are some people who believe, and some leaders who would believe that rather than accept an invitation to visit President Trump, given the fact that it's a great opportunity to articulate CARICOM's position, it would have been better for the chair of CARICOM at least to be there. So that when you have what is a very rare opportunity to meet with a president of the United States, that CARICOM's position could be articulated. But, you know, that wasn't to be, and the prime ministers of these 4 countries, of course, they are sovereign states, regardless of the fact that they are members of CARICOM. But we do hope that they would have articulated in their meeting, that they did articulate CARICOM's position, and that they indicated to the President of the United States that CARICOM has an interest in the outcome in Venezuela. Venezuela has a boundary with countries like Grenada, countries like Trinidad and Tobago, that the future stability of Venezuela is in the interest of CARICOM, and that while we understand that there are difficulties within Venezuela, CARICOM's position remains that these matters should be resolved by the Venezuelan people coming together. And we offer our good offices through the Montevideo mechanism to broker a dialogue. And we hope that the meeting in Barbados on Saturday between the foreign ministers with the chair of CARICOM present, the foreign minister of the chair of CARICOM present, can go some way to assisting in brokering that deal. So while there are different views on the meeting at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, we do not expect that to fracture CARICOM. CARICOM is more resilient, and the CARICOM, all of the CARICOM has agreed that dialogue is the way forward for Venezuela.
And just a follow-up on the video conference that you said you all had in Barbados previously as it pertains to Venezuela. And the opposition there was also a part of it. Being a part of that dialogue, how satisfied are you that there is going to be some sort of solution to the problem based on the discussions?
War is easy, peace is difficult. Peace is difficult, particularly when you feel the wind is behind at your back, you think you have the high road. But I must say that since CARICOM took the position advocating dialogue, that it has become it has been put on the table. Countries like Canada, for instance, have now said publicly that they are interested in dialogue. We believe that the region should remain a zone of peace, and I am optimistic, but I generally am an optimistic kind of guy. I am optimistic that Venezuelans, but even those persons who have been beating the drums of war, will come to the position that the only peaceful resolution, the only desirable resolution with Venezuela, and we refer to Libya. You know, everybody thought it was easy. Overthrow, what's the guy's name, Muammar Gaddafi. Remove Saddam Hussein. That was easy. The peace has proven to be much more difficult, and Libya continues to deteriorate. Iraq is still in conflict. We don't want that on our borders. It is not a question of whether or not you support Maduro or whether or not you support Guaido. It's a question of whether you support the region remaining a zone of peace. We cannot build a wall around Grenada. All we want to do is remain peaceful in Grenada.
My final question for you has to do with labor. You made mention of the visit by Consul General James in the coming months, along with farmers. Is that visit primarily to meet with yourself as Labour Minister and other government officials, or will it be a public forum where persons interested in the farming program can come along and get a better sense as to what's happening?
As it stands at the moment, it's a visit along with some farmers who are interested in getting new workers on board. That is where it stands at the moment. He may find it necessary, along with the farmers who are interested, to meet some of the workers. I think when they come to Grenada, sometimes we have a list of workers who have applied, we have a list who have been interviewed, and I just want to say this, that, you know, we receive a huge amount of names, but it takes us time to interview, and we don't want to give the expectation. Some people believe that we can just send people abroad. The only way we can send people to a farm is when a farmer requests. And then when they request, sometimes they request 10 persons, we go to the list, and they interview the 10 persons. Of the 10 they interview, they may decide to take 5. In other words, it is not entirely up to us who goes. It is a private sector arrangement where we facilitate the names going to them. So when he comes, I expect he will determine whether or not they need workers, don't need workers, but it's an ongoing process. So he may choose to meet with some of the potential workers, but that is a matter to be resolved when they arrive in Grenada sometime next month.
Do we have any other questions?
I have a question that I want to ask Christelina John, Grenada Broadcasting Network. Is in relation to Ms. Rachel Roberts, moving from the administrative officer within the Ministry of Health to another position. Can you speak to her transfer?
Well, first of all, the issue is one that, I mean, there are transfers every day in the public service. I am not sure about the details of this one, except to say that it is my understanding that the matter is now being addressed by our Attorney General, by lawyers, and as a lawyer, the one thing I know, when a matter is going before the court, you kind of keep quiet because there's a big word they use, sub judice. So I don't know the details. I'm not sure where it's heading, but as a Labour Minister, I'm always very careful to discuss it, both as Labour Minister and an attorney. I know that one does not want to put one's mouth on an issue that will end up in court, and it has been said is going to court, lest I am called as a witness. And secondly, that as Labour Minister, the matter may come before me at some point. So as with the teachers issue and other issues that people said, where's Peter? Peter ain't saying anything. Peter ain't saying anything because my job requires me to say nothing until I am asked to say something by the parties to the matter. So Ms. Roberts knows that my office is available if she chooses to, but if she chooses the court, then the magistrates and judges are available. So I have to keep myself in that mode for now. I'm sorry I can't go into any more detail than that.
Thank you, I appreciate it. My next question is, can you speak to Senator Chester Humphrey's recent visit to Venezuela, the purpose of his visit there from
Venezuela?
That's the information that I had received.
No, I don't know of a recent visit to Venezuela. He went to Venezuela last year sometime, but not recently. At least if he did it, he did so without the knowledge of the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. And I don't think the goodly President of the Senate will do that. So I hardly think that he went to Venezuela. No. Okay, it was not to Venezuela, sorry. Any other questions?
Good morning, Rachel Bain, WPG10. I would like to know if Grenada was represented at the recent meeting in Venezuela with Juan Guaido.
The meeting recently with Juan Guaido was not in Venezuela. It was a video conference meeting in Barbados. And as I indicated earlier, Grenada's position on the issue in Venezuela is that there are three governments designated. The government of, and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, and the Prime Minister and Chair of Carriacou, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts. Those three foreign ministers, it was a meeting with foreign ministers, and Grenada's position was that any meeting to be held with Juan Guaido or with President Maduro will be led by those three prime ministers or their designates, in this case the foreign minister. So Grenada did not attend because Grenada believes that those three, pursuant to a CARICOM decision, this is not just our position, CARICOM has designated those three prime ministers or their foreign ministers, and those are the persons who went to that meeting, and hopefully the meeting had good results.
Would that be all this morning, members of the media? Okay, well, it certainly appears so. I would want to, as per usual, thank you for your presence here this morning. Minister, any closing points you would want to make?
No, just to thank the media for their wonderful work. You know, the media plays a critical role in our society, digging up stories, searching the truth. And I have no doubt that they're as important as they are in any other country. So I want to thank the media for being here, and to look forward to reading their wonderful stories and listening to their wonderful stories and viewing their wonderful stories in the future. So thank you, and do have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Minister. We will actually have a second part to this post-cabinet press briefing this morning. We have some news on the Grenada Invitational. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back, but do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
You do in 30 minutes. You could be on one of our 45 black and white sand beaches, or perched atop a lush mountainside admiring our
Grenada Invitational Committee, Ms. Carleen Purcell, and she has some news that she will share with us this morning. Ms. Purcell, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm here to make a big statement because we've been looking to have this happen for quite a while. And here it is. As plans for the Grenada Invitational 3 intensifies, the directors and organizing committee are pleased. In fact, we're delighted to announce the inclusion of our double Olympic medalist and hero Kirani James as ambassador for the 2019 edition of the Southern Caribbean's largest track and field meet. In a statement on Monday, March 25th, Kirani proffered the following, and I quote, "I am happy to announce that I will be a part of the 2019 edition of the Grenada Invitational as an official ambassador. Even though I am not competing this year, I consider it an honor to be a part of a project which purpose is towards the development of track and field in Grenada and highlight on a local, regional, and international level. It is also an opportunity to showcase Grenada in a way that would benefit us all. I look forward to seeing my fellow colleagues compete, and I hope that everyone can come out to support and enjoy their talents." End of quote. With quite possibly the best cast of athletes in the 3-year existence of the Grenada Invitational, we are delighted for the resounding endorsement and support of Grenada's most decorated and accomplished athlete. Kirani will arrive in Grenada on Monday, April 8th, and will be engaged in a series of activities, including the welcoming of the over 140 athletes who will be here to compete, and also providing expert analysis during the live ESPN broadcast of the Grenada Invitational. The third Grenada Invitational takes place at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium on Saturday, April 13th, 2019. So that's Saturday, April 13th, 2019. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Purcell, for your statement. I'm sure that's welcome news for us Grenadians, particularly sporting enthusiasts, but of course for the wider population. Do we have any questions for Ms. Purcell?
Sherry and Noel, GIS. In terms of the Grenada Invitational for April the 13th, you just gave the announcement of Kirani's participation. While it's not on the track, it's something that Grenadians would look forward to. But the time span and in terms of the athletes that's coming and so, in terms of government support, how important do you view the support of the government in terms of ensuring that sporting activities of that magnitude are held in Grenada?
I think the government actually has been one of our biggest supporters in terms of technical support and just trying to ensure that, work with us to ensure that it happens. We have a local organizing committee. We have support we have a member on the committee supporting that as well. So it has always and will always continue to be very, very supportive of these kind of events. The thing is, it crosses many boundaries in terms of our tourism sector gets affected, or in terms of our sports tourism, just athletics. Having these athletes here, the impact that they have on the students. I have a personal story of a student who actually, after meeting Braylon Taplin last year and, kind of training with him at the stadium one afternoon, had her time decreased significantly at the next meet she attended. So this, and I think the government is in support of the all-round kind of development that this can have on the nation. So they've always been supportive and have continued to support us.
And based on your listing of international athletes to come, what has the response been, or what are some of the views shared by Asafa and Gatlin as to the reasons why they're, accepting your invitations to return to Grenada for an event that they would have participated in before?
They love it. They love the experience. It's the experience, the warmth of the people, just being here, the crowd, and that's something we underestimate. That boost they get from the crowd. We have an athletics. Actually, when Kim Collins was here in the first year, both him and his wife is Jamaican, and she said, this is nothing like even champs in Jamaica. Just the energy in the stadium, the energy of our people, it transcends, anything else, and that is why they're coming back. Asafa love it. He feels almost Grenadian. Gatlin as well. So along with some of the other big names that we have, Andre Degrassi was very, very pleased. You know, he was one of the first persons we booked, Shelley and Fraser Price. We have Aaron Brown, who's a Canadian national champ as well, or Antigua national champ holder, Miguel Francis. Akeem Bloomfield, look out for him. Right now, he's a young Jamaican, 20 years old, running sub 20 for 200 and just about sub 10 for the 100 meters. So he's a young upcoming Jamaican as well. So we have a lot of guys, Mike Rogers, Isaiah Young. Those are all people that have been here before and wanting to come back. You know, so it's Shema Little. She's again our #1 hurdler, 400-meter hurdler in the world right now. So, you know, we have talented athletes, and like I said, they want to come back, and they show interest even when they're coming for the first time to come back. They want to come because of the word out there in the athlete arena. They want to come and share this experience.
So my final question to you, given the short time span that you have for public sensitization and so on, what can we expect from the Grenada Invitational Committee to ensure that this Games is a success?
Well, we're going all out. This week, our PR campaign has gone in triple-fold, quadruple-fold. We're on TV, which we've never done before, so we're doing TV, social media, we're in the papers, we're everywhere. My vehicle, if you see it parked outside now, there's an invitational sticker on it as well, you know, so we're using the buses. We're going to the schools, which we've done in the past. We always give tickets, free tickets at different schools every time we do the Grenada Invitational. So we're just trying to raise the awareness. Hopefully at the end of today, we will be able to push that into our next gear, because as I said, we're out there. We have a full listing of all the names of the athletes that are coming. So I think it's a well-oiled machine, by the way. We've been meeting weekly since October as a team. So even amidst everything else, you know, we were there working. So once we had a date confirmed or a date released to us, we were able to just put things in motion. So as of yesterday, and it will intensify even further from today and beyond.
Any other questions?
A final question from Christelina, GBN. In terms of final preparations, what would you say, how far along are you? I know that you're speaking of intensifying, you know, getting people to know the awareness, building it up out there, but in terms of technical and other form of preparation, what can you tell us? Actually,
a month ago, when we asked the committee, who, by the way, our committee is constitute of the same persons over the last 2 years, basically. And a month ago when we asked already, you know, is every subcommittee, they said 90%. And this was a month ago, because as I said, we have been meeting since October. And the truth of the matter is we're probably about 95%. It's just the last set of things. Tickets are being booked for the athletes. All our lanes are filled. We are now telling persons, some of them I can't even list, but we're telling persons 2020, which will also be a big year since it's an Olympic year. So our lanes are filled, tickets are booked, hotels are booked. Technically, we have the track is ready. Everything else that we need to put in place, those things, as I said, those committees were activated 2 months ago. So we're ready. We're ready to go.
Okay, well, certainly good news on the athletic front. Read the Grenada Invitational, and looking forward. It's actually going to be my first year in Grenada for the Invitational, so I certainly look forward to that. And the news that Kirani, though not participating from an athlete standpoint in taking part in an actual event, he is an ambassador for the Games. So that's pretty good news for us here for the Grenada Invitational Committee. Of course, it's a private event, but it has been endorsed and supported by the government of Grenada, which is why we allowed Ms. Purser the platform this morning to share the good news. So that brings us to the end of this morning's post-cabinet press briefing. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Thank you for joining us this morning, and do tune in again next week.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, at a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
I don't mean to boast. Got to spread the word from coast to coast. Grenada to the world. Grenada to the whole wide world. Grenada to the world. Grenada to the whole wide world. And my love is never ending for you. I will do anything for you. Go through any trouble for you. I will even fight the eagle for you. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Listen, people keep on talking, but why should I listen? You love me for Kevin and no other reason. My mother must tell me love is something I can feel. You touch my heart already, so I know say it is real. Some go all the way to tear us apart. No matter what they say, our love is burning hot. Grenada to the world. Grenada to the whole wide world. Grenada to the world. Grenada to the whole wide world. But the love is never ending for you. I will do anything for you. Go through any trouble for you. I will even fight the eagle for you.
And a good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidi Martinique. You've just been listening to the post-cabinet press briefing live from the Works Conference Room at the Ministerial Complex in the Sir Eric Gary Matthew Botanical Gardens. That's a long one, boy. Whew. Yes, indeed. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And this is Hard Talk. And we're live on 97.5 City Sound FM.
89.5 CRFM.
In Carriacou and Pidi Martinique, Vanai 2.9 Sister Isle FM.
And in Brooklyn, New York, WeiVybz Radio 94.9.
Yes, indeed. Also online, Hard Talk Grenada Live. And we are also... Yeah, we are also live, apart from on Hard Talk Grenada Live now. We're also live on Facebook, on Hard Talk Grenada. Well, no, Hard Talk Grenada Live on Facebook, Hard Talk Grenada on YouTube, and www.hardtalkgrenada. Yeah, so all them things. Yeah, we did all of that. Nice, beautiful. Devon, so post-cabinet press briefing, important points to note.
Well, on the tourism side, the foreign minister, Honorable Peter David, was at the helm this morning, and one of the important things that was mentioned or re-mentioned at least because Prime Minister made the announcement a couple of weeks ago in his press conference, and concerning the hotel, the new hotel that is being built in St. David's, La Sagesse.
Let me correct you. Hotels.
Hotels, yes. Twin. Two.
So there is a Hyatt hotel that will be built afterwards, but the first hotel, that one, I think he said the signing took place on Saturday. For that one, they're very excited to move forward with that project, and it's a company that has a track record of achievement in these sort of projects throughout the Caribbean. And from some of the information I'm seeing in relation to that project as well, it is going to be done in the La Sagesse area, so the La Sagesse beach, utilizing access to the La Sagesse beach and the pond and so on in that area. So it's going to be an eco-friendly project. And for those of you that might be worried, it has been, especially since returning to office, it happened before, but especially since returning to office in 2013, no plans are approved without an environmental impact assessment. Because you know some people going and start up about that just now.
Yeah, of course.
No plans are approved without there being an environmental impact assessment being done. So that has been done in relation to this project. For it to move forward, that has to be done. It's a component of the qualification for a project of this nature. So an environmental impact assessment has been done for a project like this.
And that's excellent news for the parishes of St. David's and St. Andrews in particular. The hundreds of jobs that,
and even the date for it to be completed by 2022. Wow, and for that to be completed by 2022, you're basically looking at work starting this year. Within well, I hope to see groundbreaking anytime from now, and then to see construction itself started. I hope they move like the Silver Sands people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they will waste any time.
Yeah.
The urgency, for them as business people, and for Grenadians, it's welcome news, and so and then again the whole question of Venezuela and so came up in the press conference, and he reiterated Grenada's position in terms of non-interference and dialogue. Right, and so it's very important that we ensure that we always leave that line for dialogue open, and that's the way we go.
This is the thing, because there are people out there that are trying to make it look as though Grenada has failed in some form or format. Grenada hasn't failed in any way in relation to the Venezuelan issue
at all.
The Venezuelan people have a right and a responsibility to choose a government of their liking, and the Grenada government respects the rights of the Venezuelan people, continues to respect the rights of the Venezuelan people, and continues to say that in a situation like this, dialogue is the way to go. Dialogue. You can't decide that you just ain't speaking to each other, because if you take that approach that you're not speaking to each other, all you're going to end up with is war and chaos.
Yeah. And very important too, Grenada's position is not an individual thing, it's a CARICOM position, where the CARICOM leaders and so decide that, look, we are going forward with one position, we speak with one voice. And he also reiterated the importance of the persons, right, that basically would head any discussions when it comes to Venezuela, right, from the CARICOM point of view, would be the chairman, that's
Timothy Harris,
the St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister, and then you have Trinidad's Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of Barbados, or they designate, to proceed with any dialogue when it comes to.
Three heads have that responsibility to interact with.
Collectively, that's the way to go.
There has been a meeting in Barbados via video conference with Mr. Juan Guaido. There has been video conference with him and representatives of various countries, as guided by that CARICOM committee that is in place to deal with this particular issue. There is an effect on the Caribbean region for what is taking place and what can possibly take place in Venezuela. And I see some people, and you see, the thing is this, because a man says he's an expert in something does not make him an expert in it. Because you see individuals, they jump on radio and all of a sudden they're experts in relation to the media, they're experts in relation to radio, or they're experts in relation to every aspects of living. They'll tell you what pot to cook water in. They'll tell you everything. Yeah, because all of a sudden they're experts in relation to everything, simply because they have a microphone and a keyboard and access to our audience. It doesn't make them experts in relation to everything. So I have some individuals who claim to be experts in relation to politics and all kind of thing, and who is politically savvy and who understands this and understands that and the other. And a simple thing, the American government decided that they're going to invite specific Caribbean leaders to a meeting. One, Grenada can't tell another Caribbean country not to attend a meeting with the American president.
No, it would be fast to do that.
If the American president decides he wants to see person A, B, and C, he has his reasons he wants to see person A, B, and C. Maybe he's creating a coalition of like minds for whatever his intent in the future or presently is.
Because we don't know what his plans are.
That has nothing to do with Grenada or Grenada's standing internationally or anything like that. So President Trump had his meeting. He called the Dominican Republic, who half of us don't even consider as being part of the Caribbean anyway. Haiti, another country that half of us, sometimes we accept them, sometimes we don't accept them, but we need to accept them. It is part of the Caribbean.
They are.
Some of us don't accept them. Jamaica, in the Northern Caribbean, and I think St. Lucia in the OECS, St. Lucia being the only OECS country that was invited to that particular meeting, but there's nothing wrong with Grenada, like something wrong with Grenada not being invited to a meeting with President Trump. And not at the White House, at the private place.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he has his own things he want to discuss with them. That's on him, all right? But and some people even wanted to go as far as if they would be speaking on behalf of the Caribbean or CARICOM.
They can't speak on behalf of CARICOM. They cannot speak on behalf of the OECS. No, they cannot. In fact, they could barely speak in part of their own country.
They are individually. They have been invited by President Trump to his private residence in Florida. Hey, nice dinner and chat, discussion and chat. Hey, these guys have been friends for long.
So sometimes it's not it's the first meeting of a few. You never could tell them maybe other meetings you invite other leaders.
Exactly.
And so on, and there are various issues to discuss. It's not simply just the issue of Venezuela, but there were other issues
that had to be discussed. And just the weekend, and we had the royal visit to only a few Caribbean countries.
Well, remember when Prime Minister David Cameron came to the Caribbean after the United Nations meeting back in I think it would have been about 2016. When Prime Minister David Cameron came to the Caribbean region, he came to only two countries. He came to Jamaica and Grenada. He leave out everybody else in the OECS, everybody else. He just came to Jamaica. From Jamaica, he came directly to Grenada. He go up in Guave, he check the Lands Bridge, he walk around, he come back downtown, he come here meeting, and then he go. Yeah? So Prime Minister Dave Cameron he came to two countries. Prime Minister Maduro came to the region. He made sure that he came through Grenada. The prince he didn't go to every country, but he made sure that Grenada was in the itinerary.
Exactly.
Because they see Grenada as a leader in the region and an important country that they need to visit. Yeah, especially since some of them want to get information from Dr. Mitchell too, you understand? Yeah, they know he's a man with a lot of wisdom and knowledge, so they want to meet him.
And Grenada economy continues to spike, beyond 5% growth and so on. And who wouldn't admire, right, this type of achievement in these times? Who would not? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, so we've heard there also Honorable Peter David this morning. He spoke a bit about the Canadian Farm Labour Support Program. And so, because I know that a lot of people have been interviewed, and in fact, many may have also been, and I wouldn't even say may have, I know many would have been okayed, not would have, but have been okayed, to be part of the program. But remember, the program is based on demand.
Exactly.
So a farmer would say, okay, I need 20. And you may have a group of, let's say you have a group of 30, 40, and you might even send the names of all of them, and they select, okay, I'm going to take these 20. And then they may interview, they may go through the process. The farmer may even come to Grenada and interview some of the people that you've okayed as the committee. When that farmer interviews, he might decide out of the 20 that he pre-selected, that he only wants 10 out of those, and he needs another 10. Or he's just going to take 15 out of Grenada at the end of the day. Yeah? So that's how it works. It's not the government simply just give you a ticket and send you in Canada and you go to a farm. The farmers themselves are the ones, because the farmers are the ones that are buying the ticket and everything.
And they know what they want.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna just pull up anybody.
Yeah.
Like that.
So this time of year, they should be preparing to start taking some of the workers from Grenada, some of the people that have been approved and so in Grenada. They would be looking to take, and not only Grenada, the region, but Grenada's numbers have increased, and we must thank the ambassador, for the work that he's been doing. The consul or ambassador, I can't remember which it is. Yeah,
Consul General.
For the work that he's been doing, so that you've been seeing an increase in the numbers of people that are being requested out of Grenada. So we're speaking here outside of those that are already within the program and are going to be returning in short order. I know in our past you St. John's, I see one or two of the guys here, but it's winter time. Winter is coming to an end now. So this is the time that they're going to start doing the plowing and the different things.
Some
so
of
the
them
guys
started harvesting, at one point in time.
So they're going to head up because this time is frozen. So if you think America cool, try Canada.
Can't afford that noise.
So pretty soon the guys will be going up. So some of the people who were interviewed, and so they may be wondering, but what's taking place? They come on the papi show as the interviewers. No,
patience.
You've been pre-selected, and now it's up to the farmers now to say, well, we want X amount of people here, X amount of people there, and to take people up to that program. Also, the Council General has been working on different areas. So far, it's only men, because it's specific to the farms, and it's not that Grenada is saying it only wants men. The farmers say they only want men. Because I had some ladies that upset, well, how all you? It's not all you. That's a mistake a lot of people do. You have to find out the information before you start making accusations. It's not all you. It's the Canadian farmers and the Canadian government saying they want men to work in that program. They don't want women. You can't. What we could tell them, they decide what they want. You can't order them and say, well, they have to take some women from Grenada. They want men. But the Council General has been working on different, like, for instance, for babysitting and nursing and home care and those sort of things. He has been looking at the possibilities of other areas so that we can get some other people from Grenada going to Canada on that work program, some females going on work program, not on the farm labor support program, but on other programs, tourism-based programs, and so working in the tourism industry, in hotels and so on, to go to Canada as well. So he's been doing a lot of work on that. So we'll be hearing some from him in time to come on that. All right? Yeah. So once again, 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get on the inside. Devon, next week.
347-329-3101.
And Devon, next week, the Grenada Invitation, not the Grenada Invitation, what do I say? National Secondary School Sports.
Yeah.
Grenada Invitationals is the week after. Yeah.
13th. So we know we're talking about the 6th day, the 5th. The 5th of April. And so is the zonal, the secondary school sports. Right, where all the different zones come together and competition. Right.
But with the Grenada Invitational, big news, Karani James will be here.
James will be here as ambassador.
Yeah, he's not participating in the games as an athlete, but he's participating in the games in his capacity as an ambassador for Grenada in the area of sport. So he will be participating in the games. He'll be here. He'll be carrying out various roles. And I'll come back to Karani in a little while because I know there's a question there that needs to be answered.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Devon. Good morning, Sheldon.
Morning, sir.
It's a long time I didn't call you all, but excuse me.
The call
I've been listening. And yesterday morning, I was talking about that incident with the folks and the protocols or what have you. But I want to say, Grenada protocol staff is being exceptional. I met Adrian for the first time. I went there, visited for the first time, and the service was, I didn't expect that when I get there. Because it was top of the class. I even got invited to the branch. I went to the youth parliament. And I got there late. And the treatment I had was still, like royal treatment. Because they get me inside, get a seat inside. I get outside and I was invited to the brunch, the lunch.
Yeah.
And they deal with class. So, who want to run them out about them? That's be false rumor. And when I experienced something, I think I told you about it already, calling on one of the other radio stations. But I want to say this morning to make a declaration that the folks that intend to do evil to Grenada with their mouth, we come against it in the name of Jesus, and we speak life to Grenada, and Grenada will thrive, and Grenada will prosper, and Grenada will come forth and show forth the Caribbean that there is a God. And we should see it and recognize it. I didn't get much of the history before 79, but after 79, I've seen the hands of God on Grenada, moving forth through the people and through the land. And my encouragement to Grenadians is to serve God as God, not as a band-aid. We don't use him as a band-aid. Keep on trusting and pushing in God, and we'll see more that he has for us in store. Young people coming now with a new generation that have new insights, and we see how the world gets small, how Grenada is open up to the world. and Grenada leadership is taking precedence in the world. The footprints are there, so we just got to keep on pressing. Forget about naysayers, and we speak life over Grenada.
All right.
So hopefully I see you all sometime soon again. It was disappointing I didn't get to catch up with Devon, and we didn't get to plan a series, but it still stands.
Don't worry, we'll see you next time you come in, all right?
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right, boss, you take care.
Okay, so enjoy.
All right, one love.
All right, bless.
Good partner, go see them, man.
and you know, and he's reiterating a very important point in terms of protocol. And you have someone like Adrian, I mean, leading the protocol staff within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I mean, they have been outstanding over the years. You understand? And showing that service is being provided to whom it's supposed to, right? Properly, professionally, and everything. So, you know, according to them, the naysayers, they...
Well, my brother, before I go over to the protocol issue, because we still have to say something on that.
Yes.
But you realize NDC running from the issue now. After all, you get exposed yourself. Run with it.
Well, they want a little spotlighted. They want a little couple minutes of thing. So you have to give them that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they could be extinct, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Karani.
Back to the
because
sports.
One of the questions that you've been hearing is, why is Karani not participating as an athlete in the Grenada Invitational? And you see, one of the things that Karani is looking at, remember, he's coming back from illness. Yeah, he's not 100%, but he's coming back from illness.
Serious illness too.
So he has to be careful how he goes out and starts to run and so on again. So he doesn't want to start his season too early, seeing that this is not an Olympic year, but it is a World Championship year. And he's looking at the World Championships, which will be taking place at the end of September, going into October. So if he starts his season too early, he may peak at the wrong time. Next thing, you peak in one of the Diamond League race. So you run a 43.6, and I'm seeing Karani going to a 43.6. He could make it, you know. He could go to a 43.6. He's done 43.72. He's done 43.95. He's the first non-American ever in the history of humankind since ever mankind was created. He's the first non-American ever to run under 44 seconds in a 400-meter race. Others have come and done it after. He was the first. You can't replace that. He will always be the first. He's in history books as the first non-American ever to run a sub-44 timing. Now, I believe that the fastest time he has, I think he's 10th. He's in the top 10 of all-time history. The top 10 in relation to the 400-meter races. He's in the top 10 in history. He's the top 10. I think he's actually at number 10. Fastest in the 400 meters. His fastest time is 43.72 seconds. I believe he can go down to 46 and even lower.
What's the fastest time that we have for the
400 meter? 43.03. That's the world record set by Van de Kerk, and he had to rail run because Karani was on the tail. He had to run to get that one. That's Wade Van de Kerk. Doubtful. Wade Van de Kerk. Good morning to you, my dear Miss Ben. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. All right?
Saucy.
Yeah, Saucy Bean. I know who we're talking to there, man.
Saucy, that's a unique name.
Send the rentals and all. Let me know exactly. Give the people the number, link up the rentals and so, yeah. But Devon, well, the world record is that. Now, Wade Van de Kerk has suffered a disastrous injury to his knee. Tore the ligaments around his knee in a rugby match a few years ago. About 2 years ago. And has been sort of out of competition. He started running again, but he is not even sure if he will make it to the World Championships. He tried a race now just to check the leg out. He's in a lot of pain with the knee. So he's not sure that he'll be in the World Championships later this year. He wasn't going to focus on the 400 meter and he will run the 400 meter. He wasn't focusing on that. He was more focusing on the 100 and 200 meter. But he is not sure to be in the World Championships later this year. So it's looking kind of interesting. Remember, it's a sort of added boost to be going into the Olympics next year as the world champion. Yeah. So it's a sort of added boost for you. You're the world champion, you're going into the Olympics and so on. It's a psychological edge on the other athletes that are in the race with you. So I think Karani's mind may be focusing on that and not wanting to do anything that may jeopardize that. That is why, yes, he would show his support for the Grenada Invitational, so he'll be here for the Grenada Invitational.
As early as 8.
Yeah. So Karani James will be here showing his support for the Grenada Invitational. But as to actually going and run during the Grenada Invitational, he won't do it. He'll hold off for a month or two, or a few weeks before he starts his season. Yeah, you'd love to start the season in Grenada, but you have to be careful. We want to see the best for him.
Yeah, his appearance there at his stadium is good enough for us, all of us. You understand? You know, so that's excellent news. Good news that from the Grenada Invitational, and we have over 100 and plus athletes coming into Grenada for that particular event.
And you still have athletes begging.
Oh, lots of athletes still begging.
You still have athletes begging to come into Grenada for that.
And that's good.
Devon, on to the issue of protocol, because again this morning I heard it being repeated that NNP invite people and embarrass them. Number one, NNP invited no one. The new National Party, the new National Party of Grenada, the new National Party based at Mount Helicon, St. George, Grenada, the new National Party of who the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell is the political leader. That new National Party never invited anybody to anything with the Prince.
And they had no authority to do that anyways.
The only individual or office that invited people to that activity was the office of Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade. And no somebody let's say Cecile, it's not Cecile, it's Cecile. Yeah, say it like S-A-Y. Cecile, right. Dame Cecile Lagrenade, who is our head of state, not our head of government, our head of state and representative of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Yeah? She is the Regency's, the Regent, not Regency's, the Regent's? Yeah, the Regent's representative here in Grenada. And as such, she invited people. Now, how dare you come late to her activity? Yeah? You were invited. You had a specific time you ought to have been there. You were not there at that time. You decided you're just going and park anyway. They had to tell you move from there. You decided going and sit anywhere. How dare you try to sit in Moses' seat?
Moses' seat too hot.
But they're trying to sit down in Moses' seat. And I ain't talking about Pamela Moses, but Moses. Because somebody may feel I'm talking about Pamela Moses. I ain't talking about Pam. I mean, you go in and sit down in Moses. That's I mean, come on, man. It's not your seat. And common sense, which isn't so common sometimes when you're talking about certain people, seems to be something that is not around when it comes to these individuals. I heard them referring to NNP supporters as pigs this morning. Pigs. And this is being allowed on a national radio program. In Rwanda, they were calling the people of the other tribe, they were calling them cockroaches.
Tutsis.
In other words, they were dehumanizing these individuals. They were dehumanizing these individuals, so people wouldn't see them as a living, breathing human entity. They saw them as an animal to be slaughtered. And we saw what happened in Rwanda.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands.
And you have a radio program now where individuals are referring to supporters of the new National Party as pigs.
And stupid and everything like that.
This has been going on for this isn't just a this morning thing as it happened this morning. I'm talking about it. This is a constant thing that has been happening, that they are referring to NNP supporters as pigs. And they're calling and listen, NNP supporters, I don't want you to be calling NDC supporters any name. Let's draw the lines here clear and show the difference. They are fellow Grenadians. Yes. Many of them are fellow patriotic Grenadians. You have to love them, care for them, cherish them the same, because some of them are our family members. I may want nobody calling none of my family pig. So you for yourself have to look, because for you, the NDC supporters, remember the people are talking about, some of you, your children supporting NNP and you supporting NDC. Some of you who supporting NDC, your parents are supporting the NNP. So when this man comes on radio and calls your parents pigs, or call your children pigs, or call some of you living in the house, the husband is one party, the wife is the next one, this person is calling your husband or your wife a pig, and you all are supporting this sort of thing, we have to call it out for what it is. This is being encouraged. This is being encouraged. That's a dangerous precedent that's being set. You can't have that sort of thing.
Just remember, and me and Sheldon keep reiterating, the Rwanda situation, right? Where that radio host went on air inciting violence, right? With one tribe to another, right? And we see what happened. Genocide. Hundreds of thousands of people were murdered, slaughtered. Right? When you have persons on radio station, public radio stations, giving their views and inciting violence, threatening people and everything like that, what do you expect? And it's being allowed.
This is absolutely disgusting, huh? This, what we're talking about here, is absolutely disgusting. And as Grenadians, we all need to distance ourselves from such individuals. You see, there's a mindset by certain people within that organization that they're better than you.
Of course.
Let me tell you something. All of us born from unprotected sex. None ain't better than the other. Well, I didn't believe I say that. Yeah. None of us ain't better than the other. So this behavior by some people, where they're giving this kind of attitude that they are better than this one, and because you don't think like them, or because you don't have the same belief as them, or because you refuse to hate an individual like they hate the individual, that something is wrong with you mentally, or something is wrong with you spiritually, or some. I mean, come on, man.
Like you don't have a mind of your own to think. How pathetic.
That's sort of Ku Klux Klan thinking.
And you know, it starts from the leadership of that organization, you know.
Yeah.
And it's filtered down. Because there are a lot of members of that leadership of that organization who think that they are better than other Grenadians. They're more educated, they can do this and others cannot do that and everything like that. That's some of them mindset.
It's an elitist mindset, that they just believe that they're better than you. You understand? Let me ask the question again. How many of you have seen them coming around your communities again? Those of you in the south, have you seen Brother Ray climbing the hillsides coming to meet you?
Brother Ray.
Yeah? Or he just hiding behind the church right now?
Another pathetic one.
Have you seen him?
Hypocrite.
Has he been around? He coming and pay all your light bill right now, all your water rate? You see him talking on behalf of the people of the south in relation to any issue?
All he does is badmouth people.
Have you seen him on television speaking about state of roads? Speaking about water supply or Silver Sands? All of a sudden he gone quiet after he go in Silver Sands one time. He get some nice food and a two drink, all of a sudden he stop talking about Silver Sands?
Dining, and then he had the audacity to be calling people slaves. Bro, you better look in the mirror. You better look in the mirror.
No, but we're asking questions here, and you for yourself, the people in the south of the island, have you been seeing him? Because if a person is genuine about you, they wouldn't all of a sudden just disappear.
Yeah, they could be all up in your face, no matter when and how, doing what you expect them to do.
Well, Hannah, he could tell you how Silver Sand food tastes. I can't tell you, I've never been. I've never been on the Silver Sand compound. Never once have I been there.
Ask Ray, he go tell you how they the cuisine and everything tastes.
And it's not that I haven't been invited. It is I've been so busy that I haven't got the time to go to Silver Sand yet. Yeah, I'm sure I'm welcome. I can go there. Yeah, I ain't sure I can afford it, but I could go.
Yeah. Ray can't afford it.
But we're saying this to say that those of you in St. George Southeast, have you seen Franca Alexis Bernardine? Has she been around? Okay, let's leave her alone because she had a hard year. So we leave Sister Franca alone. She's had a hard year. we're going to leave her alone, although we know Randall wants to take over from her. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to leave her alone. But let's look at another area. St. Patrick East. Yeah. Have they seen Sister Anne?
And Peters or and
for some of the NDC people who run last year, just a year ago, and lose, right now you have to put up posters around lost. You have to take the picture and you have to put it up, put the words lost. No reward for finding, just keep them. You put a picture, you put lost, you put a picture, and you put no reward for finding. If you find them, just keep them.
And you don't even have a telephone number to say who you contact.
No, just telephone number.
Just keep them lost.
Put telephone number in that section. You put, I have one, I hope you have one too. No, but if people continue with that elitist mentality, and they're that group that just believe that they are much better and that they are much more intelligent and they are much more moral and everything about them is just better than you and they're better than you and they're greater than you. That group of individuals with that elitist mentality are the most dangerous groups of individuals in Grenada. Because what they are fostering is hate. To call people pigs is to bring them down to the lowest that it could possibly bring them down to. You're bringing down people to what a lot of people consider to be an unclean animal. I just eat my pork. I mean, here's one of them. I eat my pork. But some people consider it to be, and certain religions consider it to be an unclean animal. And you're basically trying to equate another human being with that animal. And the thing is that they're doing it every week. They're there and they're calling people pigs, and another time they're calling you dogs, and then they're calling you illiterate, and they're calling you dunce, and they're saying that all you're blight, and all sorts of things that they just continue doing and unchallenged.
And you know what is so bad about it? You have persons here, right here in Grenada, who listens to that program, who is part of an organization that supports that program. We're talking about NDC. Right? Who claim that they have morals and who claim that they love people. I mean, you part of that foolishness going around, letting people going around calling people pigs and needy and greedy, and you don't distancing yourself from that?
And
come on.
The thing is that they keep giving the impression that they so love Grenada. But if you so love Grenada, why are you encouraging that type of behavior? And don't try to separate yourself from that morning program.
No, you can't.
To try and make it look like it's only a Sunday program you all have. Don't try and separate yourself. You are part and parcel of that program. That program is funded by you, your organization, your membership are the ones that fund that type of behavior. Yeah? Your members, your candidates or constituency caretakers are the ones that call in and appear on that program. Your executive are the ones that appear and speak and push the agenda of that program. What is being said on that program is mirrored by the actions of your individuals out in the constituencies and on other programs. So don't try and distance yourself from it. All are in the same basket. All are in the same basket because they try to separate themselves from it now. Yeah, I'm begging last week. Come. No.
Like a basket of eggs, all you.
And they're
breaking one by one.
The problem is this, they cannot attack the government of Grenada on economic performance.
No, they're afraid of that. Scared.
The National Democratic Congress, that organization, cannot attack the new National Party on economic performance. You had treasury bills sent out there. Man, people snapping up Grenada treasury bills.
And asking for more.
Yeah, they're snapping up Grenada treasury bills. Let's go to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Hi, good morning to Sheldon Scott.
Morning, my dear.
Devon Romain, good morning.
Morning, Carrie.
I'm here, I'm listening. I know you all are holding the game. People they told me at a press conference.
Yes,
I tell you how long I listen. I tune in, I always tune in. Anyhow, good morning to everybody again. Special good morning to my girlfriend, Patricia, Matthew, in Canada, Yon, Mr. Watson, his family. Yes, ma'am, good morning. I'm the Podine and the praisers and the church in America, all the Grenadians in America, United States of America, all the Grenadians. I can't remember everybody's name, with a special good morning. There is one man from Victoria that lives in Canada. He listens to that program every day. He was here on vacation and he gone back up. I think it's Mr. Belfont was his name. And there is another man in England and the white lady that brought me the lovely jersey for Christmas. They listen in England. Good morning. I don't know what time it is in England now. And to my kids. Anyhow, I'm just saying good morning to you all. And, well, it's nice today. It's nice to have a beautiful day today in Grenada. Everybody outside there, you know, things kind of slow around us now. I mean, some of us defenders, I don't know for others, but it's kind of slow by my area. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? But we're hanging in there. That's only for a time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because
yes.
in business, your time sing good and your time, I don't know that. Your time sing good and your time is bad. But you pick up.
Mm-hmm.
This is Grenada. Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Scott.
Yes, my love.
What I have, I'm begging you, please.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you talk, we will stop. I have some bus. I have been a lady sell some bus first for the busmen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to help each other.
Yes.
We have to help each other. We have some people in this country that say they go begging. But as they have help, a lot of people bring everything, and I help them sell. It's not mine, but I help them. So I have some bus a young lady that's made for the buses. Anybody want, they could come and get. And I have some jeans, selling for one of them brethren here.
Mm-hmm.
If I sell Sheldon, I will eat our food.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how we speak in Grenada.
Yeah.
That's your hungry, you know. Right. But you have to help each other.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say special good morning to the Commissioner of Police. And I will like if Mr. Martin is listening to Miss Camille. I am not afraid when people tell me things to answer. But I would like to pass through one of these days in your spare time. You, Mr. Martin, the Commissioner of Police, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, and also the representative of the town of St. John, Mr. Peter Davis. Make a time in your schedule and pass on the terminal. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of things I would like to see all you personally to talk to what's going on in the city. Some of these young men, they have no respect for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
When you see they do something wrong and you talk to them, they have to tell you about your mother. They have to tell you about your mother. And they have to curse you all kind of dirty words to disrespect people. I mean, I'm a human being. So I would like to see the first secretary make a time, squeeze a little time for the Prime Minister to come to see. It's a lot of things and I can't take it again.
Okay.
It's too much. They have no respect.
Mm-hmm.
I am 61 years of age. I am not sin. And I'm saying it. I am not a sin. But I said it was too much a hurtful thing. So I need to see these two people, the Commissioner of Police, the Prime Minister, and Mr. David, so they could sit and talk to come up with some solution with these bus conductors and them.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yes, my dear.
And I want everybody to have a blessed day.
All right, my love. You
All
enjoy
right.
the rest of your day today.
And then it's constant people in the parents. They're doing something wrong. That is what my mother and the mother did 20 years ago. I am not taking it. I am not a responsible industry and the same way that everything. I still have to say. But I won't cost nobody but the mother just so. I look crazy.
Okay.
All right.
All right, my dear.
I'm paying already.
Camille.
I am paying already.
Camille going on them day. All right, folks, 4407377. And Camille, we're taking, laughing, but we're taking this thing serious. Huh? We will definitely pass your message on. In fact, I know that they're listening, so the message is going on.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning, lady with the lovely voice.
Well, thank you. Listen, I heard Honorable Peter David this morning talking about scholarships and opportunities for scholarships. And just as he's speaking about people's anxiety because of not knowing what to expect when they go to places like Serbia and so on, I want to encourage any young Grenadian who gets an opportunity to further their education. I want to tell them go for it, because these opportunities, they don't come around very often, and I am a living example of opportunity that came my way, and I grabbed it. During the revolution, we were the pioneer students that went to Cuba. And the people like Honorable Caris Modest-Kerwin and myself and others, you know, I remember our parents worrying their heads off, crying and carrying on because there were rumors that we were going to cut cane in Cuba and we were going to do hard labor and that education didn't exist. But we decided to go for it. We decided to just seek opportunity and you know, do the experience. And it worked out well, not just for ourselves, but for Grenada, Caribbean. And I want to tell the young people out there, it doesn't matter where your steps lead. Our parents could not have afforded tuition fees. And so this was so welcoming to get scholarships to go and study. And we are serving our country, and proudly so. And I think you know, all who went to Cuba, majority have done well. And I just want to again tell young people out there, look for the opportunities and take them as they come. You're young, you have your life ahead, and it's something to look forward for, a bright future for you. Guys, I love you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Doc.
You too, and take good care.
Yes, indeed. And watch, let's see the smile. Watch, I'm going to fix up my smile. My smile need fixing.
Yeah, the young lady with a beautiful smile and voice.
My smile need fixing. I go in by Gentle Dental Care. What do you? I go in by Gentle Dental Care. And watch, I don't even have a bus. I go in by Cammy and buy a bus bag still.
Yeah.
No, because I got to hold your little money and thing in on your pay. I said, if you have money and thing.
I have a little cash money in your house too, you know.
Yeah.
Put your money and shove it somewhere.
You have a shop. You want to hold your money on you inside of the drawer and thing. You're selling.
And I watch them bag and them, they strong. Good material.
And nice design and all kind of thing.
Good design, everything.
Oops, we lost that one.
And good price. Guys, you go there. Offer, make a deal. Trust me. You can't go there with money and can you go refuse. Make a deal.
Go and check out. Folks, hey, just to let you all know, so the Honorable Peter David, he talked about some scholarships to Serbia.
Serbia, yeah.
Believe me, Serbia, I've been through Croatia, and I've been to Bosnia-Herzegovina, and it's a beautiful place. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah? So don't be afraid to go to Serbia. Don't be afraid to go if you have scholarships in those places and so on. I know Grenada recently established diplomatic relations with the Republic of Serbia.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I've seen parts of, I've been to Serbia, I've been to Croatia, and I've been to Bosnia. And that's like all in the same area because you have Serbs living in Croatia, you have Serbs living in Bosnia and so on. So it's all in the same area and it's absolutely beautiful. The people are pretty friendly. Yeah, they're pretty friendly and so on. And it's not an opportunity you should turn down. And here's why. I always encourage people, you get an opportunity to go to China and study, or Mexico, or Cuba to study, or you get an opportunity to go to any other, go.
Yeah.
And the reason I would always say go is that you come back with something a lot of people don't have. When you go to Serbia, you will come back with a foreign language that you have hardly anybody, not only in Grenada, but in the region that has the ability to speak.
Yeah.
So even if you can't get a job in the area, which is highly unlikely that you can't get a job in the area that you study, you definitely have a skill that can be used because you'll come back with a foreign language. You go to China, and Chinese language is becoming one of the most prominent languages on planet Earth. Yeah? Apart from English, Chinese, and Hindi are two of the highest ranked languages that are going around right now. Spanish and thing, yeah, you might think Spanish real popular and thing, not as popular as you think. Yeah, in South America, yeah. And still you had the big Portuguese and the English and the the Dutch languages being spoken down there too.
And you see, one of the things too, Sheldon, a lot of traveling taking place in the world right now. A lot of Indians, Chinese persons move from the Asian, continent, and so the language. I mean,
so you need more people speaking these languages. And for the opportunities, there are people that have gotten the opportunity to go over to India and study for a period of time. Take the opportunity because you become immersed in the culture and the language. So you have, and I'm speaking specifically here to those of you middle-aged and young people, you have the opportunity to gain a second language. And as much languages as you can know is the better for you. Yeah, my good friend Kellan Bob, he speaks Chinese, he speaks Spanish as well as he speaks English. Yeah, and he's now a university professor. Yeah, Kellan Bob used to be on television, GBN News and that sort of thing. Right? So you get the opportunity to go to Serbia, take it. Take it, don't afraid.
Because
take it.
You have very few persons here in Grenada that is versed in the different languages. And so,
Hello?
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My friend.
Yeah. I saw on GBN News last night, yeah? There is a young man, Mr. Maitland. Earl Maitland, I think his name?
Yeah.
He brought to the attention of the United Nations in Barbados, he said, and Carriacou. He went to Carriacou also before to raise some concern on issues affecting our health and labor and other issues here in Grenada. And what do you think about this move by this young man?
He's within his rights to do that. I don't necessarily have to agree with what he has done. I don't agree with what he has done, but he's within his constitutional rights to do just that.
But no one ever took that bold step before. And a lot of people are very amazed and supporting him in this step, in the direction which he's heading.
I wouldn't say a lot of people are supporting him in that. What I would say is that he is seeking a platform that has nothing to do with people but has everything to do with politics. Remember, this is an individual who has said that he's formed a political organization where I think he got a total of 18 votes in the constituency that he ran. He's looking for a platform to build his party. And to do that, he's trying to give the impression that he cares about people. But according to our good friend from the Ministry of Health,
I think he cares.
I doubt it. But you see, for instance, if you care, you would follow what was said by our good friend from the Ministry of Health. Your brother have a place with a set of mosquito down there biting people left, right, and center in the tourism belt, right next to the hotels, right next to the supermarket, everything. You ain't talking to your brother to sort out that environmental and health concern that exists because of his operation. But you're out there talking about, and in fact trying to make your healthcare system look a lot worse than it is. Because I've seen him putting up photos and so on. I visit the hospital. So every now and again I have a friend that's inside there or some acquaintance that's inside there. As much as I hate visiting the hospital because I don't like hospitals. So I visit to check them. And a lot of the things that he's talking about, he goes to look for one particular area that you see this thing in and take a picture of it. So it have one waste basket. There is an old school one that probably rusty. He takes that. But the 300 others that inside there that looking proper, he not taking a picture of that. And he's trying to make it look like that one waste basket is representative of everything in a general hospital. That in itself tells me that he doesn't really care about people. What he cares about is politics.
You think so? But
no, I know so.
On the news that the clip already have almost 4,000 views, and I think
that isn't indicative of anything. Two men fighting in tongue means that sometimes that he has as much as 10,000 people. That doesn't mean that people support it.
I read some of the comments to people supporting him. I read about the comments also.
You get 10 people to post comments positive towards you. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah. And again, he will be addressing some the United Nations in some forum, he said, soon as a young man.
Not on behalf of Grenada.
So under what capacity then?
His personal capacity. He's not a diplomatic representative of Grenada.
This young man doing good. You don't think so? He's making good headway?
I don't think so. I think it's just a personal thing. He believes that he's right in a legal matter, some legal matter. Yeah, I'm even clear on it. He believes he's right in relation to that. As far as I know, the proper procedure that ought to have been followed was not followed, and he's challenging that. And he has his political organization, and this is about politics, this isn't about people. Yep. If he cares about people, there are a lot of other things that can be done. You don't go and you go into the United Nations to do what? To try and make Grenada look bad? That's what you're going to do, stand up in front of the United Nations and make Grenada look bad so that they would sanction Grenada, and then the millions of dollars that you may have gotten to help the same health sector, you don't get it again?
So how come, yeah, making up, but how come the opposition leaders never done what this young man is aspiring?
But we don't have no opposition leader.
Who opposition leader?
We haven't had that since 2013.
We're talking the past, not only now.
Like who?
The past never approached the UN on issues like that. So
because they probably had enough common sense to know not to do that. I know Dr. Mitchell.
I could tell you could be a future leader.
Everybody could be a future leader, but you first of all have to stop thinking of things from just a political standpoint and start looking at the reality. You go to the United Nations to attempt to make your country that you say you love look bad. The United Nations decides, okay, Grenada is in breach, because here all this thing this young man saying, and they believe him, and they decide they're going to sanction Grenada. So UNESCO funds that we get to help children with cancer and so on here, and to help other programs here, they pull that funding because he said that Grenada doing this and that and the other. They decide that, okay, he's saying this about Grenada and we believe that. So the funding that they give to farmers under some of their programs, or the funding that they give for different things like HIV and AIDS and all of that, they pull their funding or they freeze their funding because they say Grenada in breach of this guy's human rights. Is that love for your country? Or is that just a personal thing?
Charity begins at home.
I think he loves the people. When I look at this guy,
you have your view, I have mine, my brother. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, take care.
All right.
Charity begins at home. Good morning, nurse, and how you doing? Have a wonderful day, my dear.
Reality and perception are two different things, eh? Reality and perception are two different things. The perception may be watching on the camera right now that Devon is wearing a black top. For some people, it might be the perception that Devon wearing a black top, but the reality is a blue one he wearing. And it might be the filters on the computer, or you have your computer, or you have the colors on the computer, that it seems to be black. So the perception is that the color is black. The reality is that the color is blue. Perception and reality are two different things. I may perceive an individual to be an upstanding citizen, a wonderful person in the community. The reality may be that that person is a scam.
Yep.
That person may be a molester, con artist or something.
Con artist or something.
Reality and perception are two totally different things. So right now there's the perception that he's out there and he cares about people and that kind of thing. But you see, there's a thing called youthful exuberance, and some people could tell you about that. And I could talk to some men and get them to call and could tell you about a thing called youthful exuberance and what that causes. And the thing is, probably as a person who is still in middle age, yeah, I ain't old yet, still in early middle age, I understand a bit more in relation to these things. And I wouldn't do something as nonsensical, even if I am against a government, to go against my country. Because there's a difference between going against your government and going against your country. And when you go to the United Nations, you are attempting to go not against your government, because the United Nations can't do anything in relation to your government, but the funding that they provide to your country is what they could cut.
You know, different from Claudia Joseph, you know.
Yeah.
Calling people needy and greedy. You know, different to her. All of is in one basket.
But
you understand? But
I think it's 18 votes. Is 18 votes he get the last time?
Yeah, well, he get a lot.
I think it's about 18 votes he get last time. Somewhere around there.
But again, as we say, that's his right. He is within his right.
Terence Forrester alone get more votes than his entire political organization.
Okay, so I mean, you know.
It's not that I'm writing them off. I'm just stating the reality. Don't think that I'm just pushing them off and just say, you know, I am just stating the reality and what the individuals see it for what it is. What they're doing now has nothing to do with I care about people. So it's to give the impression that I care about people. It's to give the impression that I am fighting for you, and I'm. Or if you're fighting for me, why are you trying to cut my funding by going to the United Nations?
Yeah, family vote. Good morning to all our nurses and doctors, and to all our medical practitioners, wardens, wherever, the ambulance drivers, security at the general hospitals, and so wherever you are, good morning to you. To our police officers and prison officers and Coast Guard, SSU, and so good morning, and we hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, continuing to serve
Family
the
vote.
nation.
Family vote,
No?
3 sheep and a goat. Anyway, the
And
traffic
some old
wardens.
vehicles.
And you know, I'm hearing this constant attack on the traffic wardens, and I try to understand this.
I go defend them at all costs.
No, but Devon, let me say this, huh? Why is it that every time something is done in this country for poor people, NDC and their mouthpieces have a problem? Why every time some benefit is given to poor people, children, or to elderly people who they pass under NDC and they cut off their water, they kick them off of the social welfare programs? That same Nazimberg and the others in the NDC there right now, when Pedro tell them don't do it, that is when they start to think Pedro, you know. Because Pedro is one of the men that stand up against it. Glennis was one of the people that stand up against it.
You're talking about a bunch of people.
Gilbert
who
was
don't
one of the
like-
people that stand up against it, by a certain man whispering in the PM at the time air and push it through. I lie or I lie.
But they don't like people. Some of these names you call it, these guys and them don't like people.
Listen, what is their problem when it comes to poor people, children? So, okay, it is not the children. These are not the young people who are sons and daughters of the elite who are now traffic wardens. Some of them parents, one parent might be working, the other one mightn't be working. Both parents may not be working. Or if they're working for a low salary. It's poor people, children. But when something is done for poor people, children in this country,
something good too,
to take them out, the people who are wardens right now, I want to ask the members of the NDC that keep referring to them as Imani, and they're not. Let me state clearly and for the record, any idiot come to you and tell you that these people are Imani, tell them go to hell. No, I'm telling you, tell them go to hell. These people are not under the Imani program. But when young people, poor people, children get an opportunity in the Imani program, they have a problem. When the young man from up in Kalalu, in St. Patrick, who was unemployed and he leaves school and he wondering what to do with his life, and he get a chance to go into the Imani program, these people trying to make the Imani look at something so bad because they want them to stay outside and turn to drugs, turn to alcohol, and turn to violence. So then they could come and say, you see the state of the country? Look where NNP bring it like. The young lady who is up in Loreto in St. John, who has her 2 children, who fathers are minding them, and she trying to make a living for herself. And she gets the opportunity to enter the Imani program. And through the Imani program, even pick up her 2 subjects. Or maybe even go and get a specialized area that she's working in. Or pick up a skill. They might send her by somebody like Dali to go and learn how to do sewing. So that afterwards she can make her own children's school uniform and the neighbor's own. And earn a living.
Dali, good morning.
They have a problem with poor people, children gaining something in this country.
Because they want to continue keeping poor people, children down.
So when poor people, children get the opportunity, end up in the police force right now. They get the opportunity, they start to attack them. As a NNP they take in and put there. Poor people, children get opportunity to go into the traffic warden program. You have a problem. What they doing inside there? What they take them for?
And finding all kinds of excuses as to why they should not be there.
What problem there with poor people, children?
God.
You had a seed program, you're trying to help some people. Through the seed program, government didn't make them poor. Some of them born into a certain family situation unfortunate situation.
Some of them end up in situations that they didn't think of that they would have been in.
Sometimes not even their fault. They end up in a situation. So you're trying to help. So they're under a social welfare program.
The love,
and you're trying to help them.
The love
because
they don't have.
You don't want them drop into despair and think about things like suicide or think about things like prostitution or drugs or crime. You don't want them to go into that mindset. So what you try to do is to guide these young people into something positive. But as soon as you start to do that, you hear all of these idiots and call them out what they are. They're stupid. Oh, they're talking about, oh, they hire us at a traffic warden. So why not? Why not give some young people the opportunity to give back positively to their country and at the same time earn a living? Where you want them to go and thief? And only calling Imani like if Imani some kind of four-letter bad word. Like if you call Imani, a police supposed to arrest you because you cuss a bad word. Why all you hate people so? Why all you just don't like people so? What is your problem with these people?
They hate progress too. They hate progress under the new national party.
You see me? I poor people children.
See?
I'm poor people children. I know what it's like. Yeah? I know what it's like. That's why I'm one of the people that's trying to help. But they ain't trying to help. But they cussing. Every time. So traffic wardens, but they're cussing. Some get opportunity to the prison take in some more officers.
They vex too.
They vex. They ain't taking more prisoners, they're taking more officers.
Police officers, they vex too.
They vex. Traffic wardens, you vex. Environmental wardens.
You vex, you're mad.
You vex.
You understand?
They want to vex with somebody because they get a little fortnight on the road. You want to vex.
And if
it's
you look
poor people, they get an opportunity. What you vex for?
And look at that. I mean, you have a government who are doing things to lift people from where they are. You know, give them a sense of purpose. And so, right, to lift their heads, as you say, lift their nose out there. And you vex about that. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Yes.
Hello, morning.
Yes, Sheldon.
Hey.
I'm glad you're talking about these children. I'm glad because they're calling them banana police in the town. You understand what I'm saying? It's better that they have something to do than they sit down idle. For people, children, I'm glad. I'm glad you take up that this morning.
But what Cammy, what do you have against poor people, children?
On the radio and say, I'm rent to pay. And I want to eat this and I want that's what I want. Poor people, children, they get something to do to help themselves. They calling them banana police. They pass it and tell them all kind of things. I seen that every day. Every day out here. But I feel happy for them young people.
Definitely.
I feel happy for these young people to occupy their mind. They know at the end of the day, they have something to do. They know they have to come out tomorrow morning. They're going to help them. But the negative people have nothing to say, and they cannot help them. They cannot help them. They forget the money now and the traffic police. My God. So something wrong with them. Something wrong with these people.
Every time
they
poor
want
people
to make them come and
opportunity.
beg like them. They're going to beg on the radio. So all people have to mind them and they don't want to look for a job. Have a good day.
All right, my dear.
You see,
let us stay there and take the still water and use
you see, all of them who complaining and criticizing and don't want to see good for the young people of Grenada, they like leech. That's what they are, you know. They like leeches, depending on sucking the blood of the same Grenadians that they complaining not working, you know. But you're staying and you're begging them and you're asking them to do all kind of things for you.
It is absolutely disgusting and disheartening that every time an opportunity comes for our poor class of people, and let me just state, every single country on the face of the earth has poor people. There is no country that exists on the planet Earth that does not have poor people.
Who are more poverty than America?
Exactly.
The mighty America that we always run to go to and everything like that.
You go in the Middle East, places like Saudi Arabia and all these places, you think that they don't have poor people in those places? All of them have poor people. Every country on the face of the earth has poor people. Grenada ain't no pile of vagrant. That's one thing. We could go to countries just in the south and you go see where's vagrant. We have some people here that might have their mental issues, and so we don't have no vagrant in Grenada. You have people that have mental issues, and they might be out on the street, and still, they ain't dying from hunger because somebody giving them food. That is how it is. Even if it's Cam himself might pass and get them a food, or somebody might pass and get them a lunch or something. They might have the mental issues or the substance abuse issues, and you see them around. But we don't have vagrant in Grenada.
Well, what, Sheldon?
Right? But they have a problem with poor people in general, brother.
But I come to the conclusion. The only political organization, right, the NNP, in governance, has been able to create thousands of jobs for the Grenadian people in the last so many years. Which other organization has done that? That is why so many criticism has been leveled. We are a party that supports poor people, ensuring that every single Grenadian get a chance. No matter who you are, where you are, what you do. That's the objective. And some of them, they vex about that because they don't want to see the average brother on the street come like them. They don't want to see us get educated like them.
You know what else come and talk about? They come and they talk about taxes. But remember, when they're talking about taxes, they're talking about the upper echelons.
Exactly.
So they want to protect that upper echelon. Now, government wants to protect them too. That's why they've reduced on certain things. And you don't do it in a manner that's going to critically damage that class of individuals. But at the same time, you have to take care of those who can't take care of themselves. A hand up and not a hand out. So what do they prefer? A hand up or a hand out? Because Grenada ain't giving no hand out. Grenada gives a hand up. So when you have the seed program and people in the seed program go and collect your money by the end of the day tomorrow, people who are in the seed program and they get assistance to send their children to school is because you don't want a child staying home and not gaining an education where they might be able to uplift their entire family. So you help them through the seed program. You don't want an elderly person to die because they can't get the medication or they can't get a gas to cook or they have to go and take firewood and cook outside and burn down the house. So you give them a little something under the seed program. But these individuals, they're vexed that is happening. But the same people are doing that. And notice something for them. The last thing I'm saying before we go today. The same individuals who vex that people are receiving public assistance of some form or the other, who don't care about human beings, so as far as they're concerned, don't do it. Because there might be some political windfall to gain from doing the right thing. There's always the right time to do the right thing. There's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So they fear that government will gain some kind of political windfall from doing the right thing. But these are the same individuals that within the next few days go in and beg you to give them money.
Listen to them, listen to them on the radio.
And you know what they does do? Anywhere from the 25th of the month going down to the first 2 days of the following month, they just start to get on like if they on crack. No, that's what does get on the radio. They start to get on like if they on crack. I never say they on crack. I say they just start to get on like if they are on crack. Because they on radio and they're starting to cuss and they're cussing the wind and they're getting on. And then they had the people who call them and say, yeah, you see, they real give them. You real give who? You get nobody nothing, you idiot. You ain't get nobody nothing. Yeah, we give them, we rest it on them.
Some like it hot, some
they're
like
doing
it cool.
that because they need to excite their base to give them their money. That's what has happened. So always look for it from the 25th of the month until just act like if they are rabies. Like if they are political rabies on the 25th of the month going down. But that's the time they had to go and get the money to go and, pay the rent, pay the this, pay the that. That kind of thing.
Look who's talking. Look who's talking. They call me all kind of name, but they begging every time. Oops.
Folks, that's all the time we have for today. It's been wonderful being here. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And then whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
We are out.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Grenada hosts sensitization seminar on Carriacou gender-sensitive results-based management system. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for today, Monday, March 25th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Do Carriacou citizens know if regional priorities agreed to by heads are incorporated in our national agenda? And how can we hold the heads, Carriacou Secretariat and ourselves responsible for implementation? Some of the pertinent questions that were discussed on Monday during a sensitization seminar on the Carriacou gender-sensitive results-based management system. In 2012, Carriacou heads agreed that it was necessary to re-examine the future direction of the regional grouping, and in response, they embarked on a reformation process, which included two major outcomes. These are a more focus-effective and impactful community, guided by a 5-year plan and a transformed Carriacou Secretariat. At the 35th conference in July 2014 in Antigua, the heads approved the Caribbean Community 5-year Strategic Plan 2015 to 2019. Its desired outcomes include strong economic growth, reduction in poverty and unemployment, improved quality of life, and an integrated community with equity for all. Dr. Suknandan, Carriacou Deputy Secretary General, says we must be able to use results-based management in our national and regional development plans.
So inclusiveness is an important feature in RBM. It involves, as I mentioned, the Carriacou Secretariat, member states, regional institutions, different levels of governments, ministries, etc., parliamentarians, social partners, civil society, and the private sector. In the end, it is our community of which we are a part and which we serve that should benefit. Using RBM will also diminish or minimize the well-known implementation deficit at several levels and within several structures, which includes the ministerial level. We can hold each other accountable for not making progress, but it is necessary that all of us know what RBM is, how to use it and work with it in our national and regional development plans.
The plan is to have their first results-focused performance framework ready by the end of next month. Mr. Craig Beresford, Director for Carriacou Strategic Management Unit, says tracking the process of implementation is key.
We have been linking using virtual means with member states on a quarterly basis and or institutions to discuss implementation progress. So on a quarterly basis, we discuss how we are doing in terms of the progress. Where there are log jams, issues, challenges, et al., we try to see how best we can treat with them at that level and at that point, so that at the end of the year, we're not looking back to say, why didn't we achieve what we should have achieved? But we try to treat with those issues as we go along. And the meetings are all virtual, so there's not a cost. So we meet virtually, we have these discussions, and then we pass the information to member states in terms of some of the challenges that we're having at the regional level.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell has congratulated Mr. Ricky Skerritt on winning the presidency of Cricket West Indies and Dr. Keisho Shallow on winning the vice presidency. He says this result will bring great joy and happiness to cricket lovers throughout the world, not just in the West Indies. Dr. Mitchell issued a statement saying the election of Mr. Skerritt's team will lift the spirits of the Caribbean people and give them new hope and a greater expectation for the revival and rebirth of West Indies cricket. Dr. Mitchell also congratulated the Skerritt team for running a clean and effective campaign in which they consistently highlighted their agenda for change, their vision for the future of West Indies cricket, and their 10-point plan for making that vision a reality. He added, and I quote, "I must especially commend Mr. Skerritt for requesting that stakeholders share responsibility for his strategy and become co-owners of his agenda for change. I believe that Carriacou governments will honor these requests and do all in their power to promote harmonious and cooperative relationships between the board and all stakeholders for the common good of the game and the region." Unquote. a warm Grenadian welcome was extended to their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall over the weekend, a welcome they won't soon forget. Their visit started with an official welcome from Governor-General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade, Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Peter David, ambassadors, members of the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Cadet Corps. This was followed by a tree planting exercise at Old Government House. During their brief stay in Pure Grenada, their Royal Highnesses visited the House of the Chocolate on Yonge Street and a farmers market on the Carriacou, where spices, crafts, agriculture, nutmeg, chocolate, floral arrangements and delicacies were all on display. The Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall were entertained by local dancers and still band music as they got a taste of everything Grenada has to offer. Visitors and locals alike gathered at the Carriacou to greet their Royal Highnesses as they made their way to the various booths. The final opportunity for public engagement was a showcase in Grand Dance, where the Royal Highnesses viewed various marine conservation projects as well as a variety of local arts and crafts. The Prince of Wales also participated in a round table on sustainability and the blue economy. The visit to Grenada is the fourth stop on a 7-country tour of the Caribbean. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Welcome back. Grenada is the first country to gain hands-on training in business management from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Small business owners were targeted for the micro-business simulation exercise. The workshop focused on record-keeping, accounting, business management, and customer service. Facilitator of the workshop, Shamalan Kirby, attached to the ECCB's Cooperative Relations Department, says the initiative was done to promote efficiency of small businesses in the Caribbean.
The workshop was part of the ECCB's mandate to promote the development of our countries, and we know the importance small businesses play in our country's economies. This is to help small business run more efficient businesses. We have also found that small businesses, people have great ideas, they start, but the businesses fail. Fail because of poor planning, poor or no record keeping, and not knowing the proper principles of business management. This workshop covered all of this. We had a guest facilitator and accountant come in to talk about the basics of a financial statement. And I think for most of the participants, that's what they walked away with. The importance of record keeping and actually getting an appreciation of financial statements and the importance of preparing financial statements for their businesses.
The ECCB will continue to train in other member territories this week. One participant, Ms. Risa Pear, expressed her gratitude for the exposure to the workshop and the hands-on experience.
With this workshop, I think it was a more practical workshop. I've been to other workshops and it's more of a lecture. So it's someone speaking and you just may take notes. But this one, we had more hands-on, more practical. We use the board and to make it more realistic, and we can also use our business, like whatever was the example we had here today, we could have used it as an example in our business. One of the things that I've definitely learned is the importance of record keeping for your business, so that at the end of whatever financial year you are able to go back so that you can complete your records and your booking. So that is one of the most important things that I learned. Also understanding your customers and their needs, and sometimes you have to personalize for certain customers, so that's also something that I would have learned.
Finally, promoting the importance of human relationships, the theme under which the Grenada Association of Social Workers engaged stakeholders in a seminar in observance of World Social Work Day on Friday. World Social Work Day is used to celebrate and recognize social workers as champions for social justice and human rights. The seminar focused on building awareness on the importance of building relationships and effective communication with each other.
We want to raise awareness about the importance of human relationships, and without the collaborating and the commitment and the willingness of helping professionals, we cannot meet the needs of our client. We cannot address the social issues in society without developing great, healthy relationships. So what we want to bring across is awareness, but we want to encourage helping professionals to collaborate so that needs can be met.
President of the Grenada Association of Social Worker, Kalisha Hyacinth Purcell Charles. She said more needs to be done to improve collaboration and strained relationships to improve delivery output.
It's definitely lacking within Grenada. I know it's lacking in other nations, but I can speak for here. I believe that we're not collaborating sufficiently. I believe that we have very strained relationships, and that sort of relationship is impacting service delivery. So it's a big issue, and I think this global theme of promoting the importance of human relationship comes in a perfect time where there's a lot of issues going on amongst I should say a lot of issues that's happening within our society where we need to have more commitment and more relationship building in order to satisfy the needs of our society.
The session was attended by Ministry of Social Development, Program for Adolescent Mothers, students of St. George's University and Florida State University, among others. That story just ended the national report for today, Monday, March 25th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada hosts sensitization seminar on Carriacou gender-sensitive results-based management system. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Here today, Friday, April 5th, Kirani James Athletic Stadium, National Secondary School Games, Run, Throw, Jump, National Secondary School Games 2019, your games, your future. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.